Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me for today's Lunch and Learn. I'm Keith Armour. I'm the Education and Homework Support Manager down here in the Adult Learning Center at the main library. Don't forget, we are definitely open. All of our branches are just going strong. Come on in. We would love to see you again. So don't forget, we are here. So, also, we are going to be celebrating Pride Month all month long. But we're going to show you, I'm going to show you some resources that the library has and also some outside resources as well. So you can also celebrate Pride and get to know a little bit more about the LGBTQ community. All right, so let's go ahead and take a deep dive. All right, I thought we would start with this blog post that was put up on our website last week, and I'll make sure that you have a link to this. But this can be found at our wonderful library, cincinnatiprideorg, and that is to celebrate Pride Month at the Cincinnati and Hamilton County Public Library. There's several different things that the library is sponsoring during Pride Month, and one of them is happening at the Price Hill branch, and that is a art exhibit that's happening in there over there. So you want to check that out. That exhibit runs all the way until July the 3rd, and they're having a special visual artists and poets are going to be there this Saturday, June the 12th from 2 to 5, so you might want to check that out as well. Now, downtown at the main library, we have two paint in the garden parties. That's happening also on the 12th, this coming Saturday, and that is going to be held from 11 to 1 and from 3 to 5. So you can check that out. I'll make sure that you have a link to this page so then you can go directly and register for those events. There's also going to be at the end of the month at Price Hill a community panel that will discuss the personal and social and legal considerations for the LGBTQIA plus community. And that is going to be June the 26th from 2 to 5. So you have plenty of time to check that out. There's other things that are happening at Pleasant Ridge is a color party. Clifton has some take and make craft, and there's some other things here. And there's also some pride themed, I can say it correctly, pride themed story time videos that are available on our website as well on our YouTube channel. There is one thing that is really cool that the library just put together, and that's this section right here. These are resources that are regional, they're local, regional, and there's also online resources too. So you cover the gamut from 101 all the way to escapism with health and teen resources and trans 101 information as well. Here's an example of a story time that is a Pride story time. You can go here to find the local support groups, and those are some local support groups. And also on that same page is community organizations. And these community organizations reach out and help a great number of people. And then the last thing that's on here is orientation and identity. And it's really FAQ. So there are a lot of different questions that you might have. When I mentioned LGBTQIA+, what does that mean? Well, it'll tell you right here. There's all sorts of different things here for you. And then there's a short glossary too that you can check out and further reading from some really fine organizations. I'm going to go back one and go to community organizations. And we're going to go to Cincinnati Pride. Not that any of these other ones are not great, but we're going to go to Cincinnati Pride. It's been around since 1973. And really it's the official group that puts together the big parade. There's not going to be a big parade this year. However, they have all sorts of different events. You can see they're scrolling through here. I'm just going to click right up here under events, and I'll provide a link for this as well. It's cincinnatipride.org, and you'll notice that, well, some of them have already happened last week. Oh, this is actually happening from June 1st through Wednesday the 30th. And so there's a Love is Love truck tour. There's a Wyoming art exhibit. There's that Pride Night at Cincinnati Reds. That's happening tomorrow, June the 11th from 7 until 10. Hopefully they shall win again. I always love it when they sweep, which is very, very, very seldom when they sweep the St. Louis Cardinals, but hopefully coming back in town will be good for them. There's also some pool parties that are happening. There's some drag shows. And I'm going to scroll down just a little bit so you can see there's some classic show tunes there. You've got a film series that's happening at the Esquire. Got a Pride dance that's happening. There's movie at the park. And then one of the last things I want to show you is two of the last events. There's the Cincinnati Men's Chorus presents the Big Gay Broadway, and that's going to be a virtual event, so you can check that out. And then, of course, there's Pride at the Park, a Pride Market at the Park, and that's going to happen down in Washington Park, downtown, right across from the music hall. And there's going to be a whole bunch, about 20 different groups together. So even though there can't be a parade this year because of the pandemic, and thank goodness that's slowly dissipating, but we're going to have a Pride Market down at the park. Okay, so definitely check those events out. They're very easy to go to, a lot of fun people, and be supportive. Now we're going to go back to our website. We're going to go down to stream and download. And one thing about Lunch and Learn is that I always try to convey is that there's so many resources for almost everything out there. And I just think it's great that when something happens that we can highlight some of the resources that we have. Now, Overdrive and Libby are the same thing, but you want to kind of use Libby more than Overdrive. It just works better. I'm going to use it in the browser and show you a special collection for the month of June, and that's Rainbow Reads. And Rainbow Reads is a collection of books for Happy Pride. If I click right up here, I can see all of them. And you can see there's 1,315 results. Now, I'm going to jump back here in just a moment, but I'm going to go under Subjects, okay? Now, if I was going to go under Subjects, under Fiction, and go to Gay and Lesbian, I would only have 2. And you're thinking, that's interesting. It sounded like you had more than that. We do. And if you come down under Nonfiction, under Gay and Lesbian, let me find it here, there it is, you have 308. So if you want to check out those materials, go right ahead. But the biggest collection right now is a special collection that is happening, and that's Rainbow Reads. And when we click on there, there's the 1,315 results. All right, so you want to check out that first. Now, with anything, if it says it's available, then you can check it out right then and there. And as we go through these pages, you'll notice I'm going to go to page 6, and we keep going down, and look, everything is still available. So these are all books that are available, and they're ready for you to pick up and download. You don't even have to pick them up because they're right there ready for you to download. So let's look at a couple of them. This one right here doesn't have, it kind of has a foreboding type of title. They both die at the end. But if you click right here, there's one of 3 copies that are available. We can borrow that. We could look at what a little bit of a description about the book down here. You'll notice that it won a lot of awards, and it is a book that's been around since 2017. You can even read some reviews as well. All right. And one of my favorite things about the downloadables, it's kind of like going to your own bookstore because you can pick up the book by clicking here and looking at a sample and just kind of reading parts of the book and seeing if, well, does this author and this story kind of draw me in? Because you can usually tell in a book after about 5 pages. All right. I'm going to go back one, and I'm going to go right over here. It's the same book, but it's an audio book. And the thing I like to do when it comes to audiobooks, I can still read all the information. I can still read all the information, it's still the same, but I like to check 2 things. And one, I like to check the details. And I want to know how long it will take me to finish an audiobook. You have 21 days to check out these materials, and I just want to, it's not all the time that I have time to check out and listen to an audiobook. So I always like knowing that detail. The other thing I like to do when it comes to audiobooks as well is I click here to listen to a sample. And a lot of times a book is wonderful, but the actual reader or the narrator of the story is not. So that's an acquired taste for different individuals. And there are some people that that's their living. They read books and they become very, very famous. And I actually seek out the same reader on a lot of different books. So you can listen to a sample here and you can just kind of get an idea if you would be interested in listening to the book. So a lot of, in this special collection of Rainbow Reads, 1,315 that are here, a lot of great books that are here. This one right here is called The Yellow House, and it is not in an audio book, it's an ebook. But I read this last year, I do believe, and it is a compelling story about a African-American family that had this little yellow house, and Katrina kind of messed that whole family footing. I'm not going to go into too much, but it really tells the whole family history of this house. And it's just a beautifully written book. And it is a nonfiction book too. And it is a history. It really tells you some history. And it's very compelling. And it did win the National Book Award for Nonfiction in 2019. So definitely check that out. I'm going to go back to stream and download. Remember, that was Libby, and Libby and Overdrive are the same thing. I'm going to go over to Hoopla. And when I get over here in Hoopla, let me get rid of Yellow House up here. I'm going to go to Browse, and I'm going to go to eBooks. And I'm going to scroll through here. And here's a special, this is from the Oprah magazine. This is the best LGBTQ book. And with Hoopla, if you see the book, it's always available to borrow. So you can check that out. And this is, I have not read this one yet, but I'm definitely going to check this one out. All right. Now, another thing with Hoopla, you can check out music. So there's a lot of different artists you can check out. But I'm going to go down here under movies. And if we scroll through, you can find Pride in your LGBTQ plus community. You click here, and there are 95 items that you can check out and watch. Okay. And I know for a fact that you can, if you have an Apple TV, if you have some smart TVs, you can download the app onto your device and watch these. And all you need is a library card. So if you need a library card to check out materials, go online, find your library card information, and fill it out, and you'll get a library card. Go to one of our branches, or if you want digital access, you can call our 513-369-6900 number, and they'll give you access so you can do all this digital content. I'm going to show you one more before I show you a couple of other things I just want to remind you on. Oh, Freegle, here it is. I'm going to go right here. And these are downloadable music. And I'm just going to type in here Pride. And you'll see, of course, the great Charlie Pride. But if I come right down here, there's Pride, 100 gay anthems. And there's over 5 hours and 58 minutes and 56 seconds of music here. And with Freegle, you can, of course, download a couple of songs, but you can also stream music directly from here. So if you're having any kind of gathering, or if you want to just listen to some great music, here's Can't Stop the Music. If you just can't stop the music, you could stream all of these wonderful anthems that are here. All right, so definitely check out Freegle. And then the last thing when it comes to celebrating Pride, if we go to view Canopy, and we're going to view on the browser, and here right at the very beginning it says 20 films to watch during Pride Month. You can click here, and you can see a whole bunch of movies that are about Pride. So you can see Celebrate with must-see titles. You can have Modern Love, Journey Out of the Closet, Fight for Equality, just quintessential queer filmmakers, Notes on Camp, LGBTQ history, and there's 71 videos here total to celebrate Pride. And once again, with Canopy, you can download a special app that will go on your devices, such as an Apple TV, a Roku box, and also devices like mobile devices as well. So check that out. It's really kind of fun to be able to watch something and learn a little bit. If you're not a member of the LGBTQIA+ community, you can at least learn a little bit about them. All right. Now, I cannot every day, every time I do lunch and learn this summer, I will be plugging in June and July our Discover Summer program. So if you have little ones from preschool all the way up to teens, don't forget to go by, pick up your to-go pack at your local branch. You can also download the app. There's all sorts of different programs that are here, web resources, our summer meal programs going on. So definitely check that out. Last week, I also talked to you about the Discovery Pass, where you can go to these great institutions, and all of that information is here as well. So definitely check that out. And then I highlighted some events. These are those events that I was pointing out earlier to you, and that's Paint with Pride, the art exhibit that's happening at Price Hill, the color party, and there's just some great events that are happening. So I'm going to click out now and tell you a few more things, and we'll call it a day. Well, all right. Those are all the resources. We've got a lot that you can help celebrate Gay Pride Month right here using your library card. Don't forget some of the events that the library is sponsoring is Paint with Pride. That's coming up this Saturday at Main Library, so check that out. And also there's a color party at Pleasant Ridge next Monday, the 21st. And then Inside Out is actually right there at Price Hill. It's going to be 2 times, June the 12th and June 26th, and that's from 2 to 5. There's all sorts of other events. Of course, I'm going to put a link there so you can have cincinnatiprideorg and look at their event page. They're having that Reds Night that's going to be June the 11th. And then, of course, the big Pride Market that they're going to have in Washington Park on June the 27th. Also, don't forget, the library is still your place to go when it comes to Discover Summer. We've got that wonderful program for kids. And then speaking of kids that might possibly need some free meals, we are still doing that service all summer long, and that is on Monday. So check that out. And then last week I talked a little bit about Discovery Pass. If you have not watched that video, watch it, or just go ahead and click in and find the Discovery Pass on our website. It's a great way to find a lot of free resources and free institutions and places that you can go for free with your family this summer. All right, I will see you next week for Lunch and Learn. Have a good weekend. Thanks.